Hello viewers, myself Hari K. Chaudhary. Welcome to my tutorial class of economics. Today we will be discussing on consumers equilibrium. As you know that there are two approaches of measurement of utility. One is called cardinal approach, another is known as ordinal approach. Today we will be discussing on ordinal approach. By cardinal approach we mean that the exponent of cardinal approach, they say that utility can be measurable. We can measure utility in numerical terms. However, the other exponents of ordinal approach, they say being a subjective constant, it is not possible to measure utility in numerical form. Okay, so but a consumer can rank the utility derived from different branches or different commodities. That is, whether a consumer is getting more or less, just he can order the utility, but he cannot or she cannot claim that this much utility we are getting from consumption of a particular commodity or goods and services. Okay, so ordinal approach, according to the ordinal approach, utility cannot be measurable in numerical form, but we can rank or we can order the utility derived from different goods and services. Okay, so in order to analyze the consumer's equilibrium, we are going to use the concept indifference curve, okay, which is an ordinal approach. Okay, so now briefly explain what is indifference curve, then we'll come to the consumer's equilibrium. How can we analyze the consumer's equilibrium using indifference curve approach? Initially, we will discuss the consumer's equilibrium with the help of graph, and after that, we will try to analyze the consumer equilibrium in mathematical form. Okay. So let's start. Okay, indifference curve. Indifference curve. Okay, what is indifference curve? Exactly. Okay, let us draw a diagram where y-axis we are measuring y good, x-axis we are measuring x good. Okay, so an indifference curve is a combination of two goods, or you can say two branches of goods. Okay, that will give you the same level of satisfaction. That is, okay, we say this is a combination A. That means what? The consumer is consuming OY1 of Y good, OX1 of X good. And let us consider another combination given name B. Okay, so where the consumer is consuming OY2 of Y good and OX2 of X good. Let us consider another combination given name of this combination as C, where the consumer is consuming OY3 of Y good and OX3 of X good. If you join these combinations, okay, with a curve which is a convex to origin, okay, which is one of the property of indifference curve, what do we say? Indifference curve. So we can get the definition. What does it mean? An indifference curve is a locus on the indifference curve at any point. Okay, it will represent a combination of goods of Y and X. Okay, but if you choose any combination, either A, B or C, whatever satisfaction you are going to get, your satisfaction level will remain same. That means if the consumer is choosing combination A, that means what? It is he is consuming OY1 of Y good, OX1 of X good. After consuming this combination, whatever satisfaction he or she is going to get, okay, or utility, if he or she consumes the or choose the combination C, C means OY3 of Y good and OX3 of X good, his or her satisfaction level will remain same. That is the concept. Okay. Now onwards, we are not going to draw this coordination. Okay. Just we will say what is indifference curve. Okay. This is indifference curve. It represents, or it is a locus of different combination of two goods that will give you the same level of satisfaction. There are basically four properties of indifference curve. The first one is, you can say, It is a downward sloping. You can see from the graph. It is a downward sloping from left to right. Number 2. Okay, it is a convex to origin. The difference curves are convex to origin. Okay. Number 3, you can say what? 2 indifference curve. Suppose I am writing indifference curve 1, and this is another indifference curve 2. Two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Okay. And fourth one is there. Fourth one is, it is called a higher level of indifference curve represents a higher level of satisfaction. So here I am drawing 4 indifference curves. Okay. So that means what? Whatever satisfaction level we will get if we choose indifference curve 1, the satisfaction level will be more on indifference curve 2. Okay, that is the meaning. Higher level of indifference curve represents a higher level of satisfaction. And as a consumer, our target is to achieve the maximum possible indifference curve. Maximum satisfaction we always want. Okay, that means in this, here we are drawing only 4 indifference curves. That means there are several indifference curves. As a consumer, our target is to achieve the highest possible amount of indifference curve. And together all these indifference curve, it is known as what? Indifference map. Okay, that is the difference between indifference curve and indifference map. In indifference map, it is a set of indifference curve where it represents the preference of the consumers. Okay, and indifference curve is a single indifference curve where it represents defined combination of 2 goods. Okay, that is the difference. Anyway, so with this background, we can now in a position to discuss the consumer's equilibrium. It's not like as a consumer, as you know, our target is to achieve maximum level of satisfaction. Okay, but it's not like that. Whatever satisfaction you want, you will achieve. No, there must be some constant. Okay, even if our target is to achieve highest level or maximum level of satisfaction, but it is restricted. Okay, so how it is restricted? Exactly, your budget will restrict you, whether you can achieve the 5th one indifference curve or 10th indifference curve. Okay, your budget will determine. Okay, for example, you can say I want to have a car, but my preference is I will get more satisfaction if I purchase the Audi car. Okay, got it? But at the same time, you have to see whether you have that amount of money or not. Whether your budget allow you or not to purchase the Audi car. Got it? So, but as a consumer, I can think, okay, from Audi car, I will get the maximum satisfaction. But sometimes we may not achieve that level of satisfaction because my budget sometimes doesn't allow me or do not allow me, okay, to achieve that level. Okay, so that is called the budget constant. We have to understand what is budget constant. Budget constant in simple terms, let us say you have 100 rupees. You have 100 rupees given income. Okay, we are considering 2 commodities, X and Y. Price of X is rupees 10 and price of Y is rupees 20. Now you have to allocate your 100 rupees while purchasing X and Y commodity. Okay, how much X, how much Y you can purchase? Exactly, this is your budget, total amount. Then 10 into X amount, this is into, okay, plus 20 into Y. This will represent, okay, or we can say Px into X plus Px here, price of X, instead of 10 we can write this one, Py, price of Y into Y here. By using variable, we can write this equation. This equation will show you, okay, how to allocate your 100 rupees while purchasing X and Y. How much X and how much Y you can purchase provided you have 100 rupees. Okay, in notation form it is called M, or in some books you may get I also. Okay, whatever, these are notation. This is the given income level. M is the amount given. Suppose this amount of money you have and you have to allocate while purchasing 2 goods, X and Y, given the prices of both the commodities. Okay, so this is nothing but this is called the equation of your budget. Then some manipulations. What we will get? Just I'm manipulating something. I'm keeping what? Py left side plus m right side. Just I'm changing the side. Okay, just some mathematical manipulation after this one. Then therefore y equal m by py minus px by nothing. No need to worry. This is simple. Okay, just I'm manipulating. I am changing the side of py. Okay, this is nothing but in the graph form. Here we are measuring y goods, x-axis we are measuring x good. So if you represent it graphically, that means what? Suppose you don't want to purchase x, whole amount of your income, that is 100 rupees, you want to spend on y. How much you can purchase? The money is, you have 100 rupees, price of the y is 20 rupees, yeah? Okay, 5 units, isn't it? If your x is 0, then you can have 5 units you can purchase of y. Your income will be adjusted then. Or you can say you do not want to purchase, okay, y, only you want to purchase x. So 100 rupees you have, so price of x is 10, okay, then 10 units you can purchase. So this is the 10, suppose. If I join this point in the graph with a linear line, okay, so that will call your budget line. Okay, budget line means it is also combination of two goods, y and x, where with the given amount, that is 100 rupees, you can purchase that combination. Okay, so that is the thing. Within the budget line, any point, any combination you can purchase, but you will have some extra amount. Okay, if you choose this combination, you can purchase because it is under your budget. Okay, but if someone wants to say this combination, that is odd card, okay, I cannot purchase this one because it is beyond my budget. Okay, so on the budget line, that means your expenditure will become 100. Whatever money you have to spend everything, and you can purchase that one. You are allowed. Okay, so that budget expense together, this area is known as budget expense. Okay, now we consider the equation. This is called budget equation. Okay, this is what m by py. It is nothing but this. It will represent 0 to 5. So it is called vertical intercept. Okay, this is the vertical intercept. Now, and minus px by py. This is nothing but the slope of the budget line. Okay, the price ratio of the two commodities, that will give you the slope of the budget line. Okay. So now we are in a position to explain the consumer's equilibrium. Suppose you have given amount of money and your target is to maximize your satisfaction. So how to achieve that one? In which combinations you will get the maximum satisfaction, considering your constant budget constant. Okay. So let me draw that one. Okay. Yes. Okay. So again we are drawing a graph, two-dimensional graph. Y-axis we are measuring y good, x-axis we are measuring x good. Okay. Yes. And we suppose we are assuming that we have been given some amount m, price of x is given, price of y is given. These things are given. Okay. So if these things are given, then considering the situation, whatever the values, suppose we are getting the budget line, this is, and we are replacing a BL. Okay, this is budget line, provided you have m amount of money, px is the price of x, and py is the price of what? Y. Okay, now let me draw some indifference. Okay, I am drawing 3 indifference curve. Indifference curve 1, indifference curve 2, indifference curve 3. Okay. Okay. So I am giving the name of some certain points. Combination A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, these are a combination. Combination means Okay, this is the amount, how much y and how much x we can purchase. Okay, this is the minimum combination of the goods. So at point A, let's start, where the consumer will be equilibrium provided the given is money income, price of x and price of y. Okay, at which level of satisfaction he or she can attain. Okay, so here in the graph what we see, suppose at point A, whatever satisfaction level will be there if the consumer chooses point A, the combination A. Okay, so whatever money he or she has, he or she has to spend all amount. Okay, and its satisfaction level will be measured by indifference curve 1, IC1. Okay, or the consumer can choose combination B. Again, his satisfaction level will be measured by indifference curve IC1. Okay, then the consumer either can choose combination C. Okay, C means what? Just OY1 of Y good and OX1 of X good. This combination the consumer can choose. If this combination is chosen by the consumer will be indifferent satisfaction level will be measured by indifference curve IC2, which is higher than the IC1. That means if the consumer chooses either combination A or combination B, okay, instead of choosing A or B, if he or she chooses combination C, okay, his or her satisfaction level will be more, because at this point, at point C, okay, the point C is lying on a higher indifference curve, and the property of indifference curve says that higher the level of satisfaction, a higher indifference curve represents a higher level of satisfaction. Okay, so now if the consumer can choose combination D, definitely his or her satisfaction level will be more, even more. But given the budget constant, money, price of X, price of Y, the consumer cannot attain this point, this combination, because it is out of his or her budget. So from here we can say that the point C is the what? Equilibrium. Equilibrium means what? Equilibrium is a point where there is no tendency to fluctuate from that point. Okay, a consumer is in equilibrium when he or she gets the maximum satisfaction. If a consumer is getting maximum satisfaction, why to debit from that point? Then from in that sense, that point will become what? Equilibrium point. So if we follow the definition of equilibrium, so we can say only at point C, okay, the consumer satisfaction level will be maximum, provided his money income is and price is given, and prices of Y are prices of X and Y are given. Okay, so normally in economics we represent equilibrium at E. Instead of C, you can give the E, point E. So consumer is equilibrium when it gets maximum satisfaction. How to know that one? For that purpose, the consumer has to fulfill one condition. The condition is that the slope of indifference curve, okay, the slope, that is the tangent, slope of indifference curve should be equal to the slope of the budget line, or you can say where the indifference curve tangent to the budget line. At this point only, okay, at this point this condition is fulfilled. When there is a tangency between budget line and the indifference curve, at that point the slope of the indifference curve will be equal to the slope of budget line. Okay, mathematically we will draw these conditions, but for the time being, graphically you have to understand the consumer will be in equilibrium when the slope of the indifference curve is a tangent with the budget line. So only at point E, okay, the consumer can have maximum satisfaction given his money income. So point E will represent equilibrium where the consumer is going to consume OY1 of Y good and OX1 of X good. By choosing that combination, it can attain maximum level of satisfaction, and there won't be any tendency to fluctuate from that point. Okay, clear? So this is graphical representation of consumer equilibrium considering two goods or two branches of goods. Okay, here we are considering Y good and X good. Now, mathematically, how to derive that one, the relationship or that condition? Okay, let me draw. So, indifference curve, you know that indifference curve is a defined combination of two goods that will give same level of satisfaction. Okay, so in case of two commodities, we can represent what? Okay, utility. You are getting utility from where? Okay, by consuming X good and Y good combination. If you consume different combination or a combination of X or Y good, you will get the utility, and that utility will be constant. Any combination on the indifference curve, as I say, okay, any combination that will give the same amount of utility. That is, okay, utility remain constant on an indifference curve. Okay, so this will represent the indifference curve. Now, using the concept of total differentiation, okay, probably you are familiar. Okay, so total differentiation with respect to X and Y, what we can do? Okay, partial del Y by del X dx del U by del Y dy. This is called total differentiation. Okay, since A is a constant, so it will become 0. Okay, so I am assuming here you know the basic concept of calculus. Okay, so this is called total differentiation. Okay, now some mathematical manipulation, just side changing or something. Del U by del X means what? Change in utility as a result of change in X. It means the marginal utility. Additional utility derived from consumption of additional goods. Okay, that's why change del U by del X. Instead of that one, we can write marginal utility of X into dx plus again change in utility as a result of change in Y. Additional utility derived from additional unit of Y. So it will be marginal utility of Y dy equal 0. Okay, now just I am changing the side. Okay, what I am doing, okay, marginal utility mu x by dx, I am keeping left side and changing. Okay, the sign has changed. Now a little bit more manipulation. So I am bringing the mu y, marginal utility of y, to the left side. Okay, marginal utility of y left side I am bringing, and I am taking dx to right side. And what does it mean? This is nothing but, okay, we can write dy by dx equal marginal utility of x by marginal utility of y. That means what? This dy dx is nothing but it represents exactly the slope. Small exactly. If this is the indifference curve, at any point, small change in x and y. So we have to draw this one, the tangent. That tangent will show you the slope of the indifference curve. That means it represents the slope of the indifference curve. Okay, so in indifference curve, that means what? Okay, this is the dy by change in del y by del x. Okay, in case of calculus, this when we take limit, so ultimately the del becomes d. And I am assuming you know this concept. Okay, you know this concept. So del dy by dx is nothing but the slope of the indifference curve, which is equal to the ratios of the marginal utility of x by marginal utility of y. Okay, now you have to remember these things. Just keep in mind. Okay, I am writing here dy dx and marginal utility of x by marginal utility of y. Just I am keeping here. Now because our target is to achieve or derive the consumer's equilibrium, and we know at the equilibrium point the condition is that the slope of indifference curves would be equal to the slope of budget line. Okay. Now, in case of indifference curve, okay, what happens? Your what? Utility is a function of x and y. Okay, two commodity. Okay, or you can write this one this way also. Instead of function symbol, you can write utility is a function of u, x, y. Okay, in order to maximize utilities, you have some given money income. Money income, as we know, already discussed, m equal px of price of x into x plus price of y into y. Okay, this is your subject to. As a consumer, our target is to maximize utility subject to our budget constraint. Okay, so when there is a constraint given in the form of equality, okay, so in that case you cannot directly optimize this one, your utility. For that purpose, you have to use the concept of Lagrangian multiplier. Okay, so what is the form of this one? From here, your objective function is you have to maximize utility, okay, subject to that budget constraint. Okay, so this kind of concept is called constraint optimizations. For that purpose, where the constraint is in equality form, you have to use the concept Lagrangian multiplier. So first you have to convert these two equations in a Lagrangian function. So I am giving the name L for Lagrangian function. What is that? How can we write this one? We can write this, okay, u plus, you have to use lambda, okay, lambda, then just from this equation I am writing that one. Okay, this is called Lagrangian function, how we have converted. You have to know these things. Okay, I am assuming you know these things. So now you have to optimize with respect to x, y and lambda. So partial difference, you have to go for partial differentiation. Okay, so how to do that one? So your first order condition will become del L by del x equal to 0. Okay, it is the first order condition. Then what we will get? See, here we will get del u by del x, okay, plus lambda minus px equal 0. This, okay, so I assume you know these things. So instead of writing del u by del x, directly you can write changing utility by change as a result of changing x, or we can write marginal utility of x. Okay, from here, okay, what we can know in terms of lambda. Okay, what does it mean? It means what? Minus marginal utility of x by px. Just I am writing this one. Okay. Similarly, if I go for partial differentiation with respect to y, what we will get? Ultimately, in terms of lambda, we are going to get minus marginal utility of y by price of y. You go to do it yourself. What is the thing? Okay, and also you have to do it partial differentiation with respect to lambda equally 0. Ultimately, you will get what? M equal px x plus py y. Okay. So now from here, if you given equation number 1, here equation number 2, equation number 3, from 1 and 2, see here lambda is mu x by what? Okay, here minus will be there. Okay, because you have to change the sign. No? This is into. Okay. Obviously, it will be minus. Some calculation mistakes are there. Anyway, so it will be, there won't be any minus. Okay. committed some mistakes. Now I corrected. This is the correct form, okay? Or in case of y, you will get marginal utility of y minus lambda py equals 0. Then if you go for lambda, you will get that one. Now you think from lambda, you equate with lambda. Instead of lambda, what we can write? Okay, here lambda is equal to this one, lambda is equal to this that one. Okay, instead of that one, we can write what? We can write a marginal utility, that ratio we can equate. Okay, marginal utility of y py, isn't it? We can write instead of what the cases lambda is equal, ultimately they are equal. So now from here, what you can get? Okay, you change the sign. A mu x, just I am bringing the marginal utility of y left side, and I am taking the px to right side. Yes. So ultimately, again we are getting the ratio of utilities, marginal utilities of water commodities is nothing but it is the what? It is nothing but, okay, in terms of, we have written the what? Y equal m by py minus px by py x. So we got while deriving the budget line, this is the slope of the budget line. So this px by py is the relative price. Okay. So again you remember earlier we derived this one while analyzing the relationship between utilities and indifference curve. Remember? Okay. Now here again, instead of mu x marginal utility of x by marginal utility of y, we can equate this one price of x by price of y, because here again we have derived from the Lagrangian function, isn't it? So ultimately what we are getting, just remove this one, we are getting del dy by dx is equal to price of x by price of y. This is nothing but, this is known as the slope of the indifference curve, and this is known as the slope of the budget line. Okay, so this is the condition of consumer's equilibrium. Mathematically we have derived. So graphically again we can write what? This is the budget line BL, and here is the indifference curve. Okay, at this point you see y good and x good we are measuring. This is BL. So consumer is purchasing OY1 of y good, OX1 of x good. At this point, you remember we derived this one, point A, point B. This is the B. Okay. So at this point, okay, we have derived this point mathematically. That means this is the slope of your indifference curve, and this is the slope of budget line. Okay, it is the condition. So this is the concept of consumer's equilibrium. Okay, how to explain, derive the consumer's equilibrium mathematically we have shown here, and graphically we have explained what is the consumer's equilibrium. Okay, hope the concept will be, this video will be helpful to understand the concept. Now you can go through your books, okay, any standard textbook on microeconomics, you will get those concepts. Then you will understand the consumer's equilibrium. Okay, thank you for watching the video.